Hey, this is Aaron with BSTracker. I'm going to use AI to analyze this video from The Daily Show for bias. Take everything here with a grain of salt. My goal is not to tell you what to think, but to help you see what's going on beneath the surface. Remember, bias doesn't always mean something is false. It just affects how the message is framed. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. That being said, I'm going to go down to the description, show transcript, copy the entire transcript. I'm going to say, please BS track this video from the Daily Show? Yeah, the Daily Show. So we start off with bias and framing. So it has a strong anti-Trump framing throughout. Humor is consistently used to undermine his decisions and character. Trump's policies are framed as intentionally malicious rather than misguided or controversial. Veterans and transgender individuals are presented exclusively as victims, with no airtime given to supporting arguments for the ban. Emotional manipulation. It uses ridicule, for example, get this guy a labia, to evoke humor while discrediting opposition. Clips of veterans being fired and suicide hotline staffs losing jobs are used to provoke outrage. Plays up emotional language like we were finally turning a corner and he doesn't care about us to stir anger towards Trump. Omission of key context. It omits the legal and policy arguments made by the Trump administration regarding unit cohesion, deployability, and cost. No discussion of court rulings upholding parts of the transgender ban as legally permissible at the time. It fails to address concerns raised by some military leaders and policymakers who supported the policy. Misleading or leading questions. The leading tone, why would you want to kick out these dedicated individuals, presumes intent to harm rather than a strategic policy. Suggests Trump's motivation is hatred of LGBTQ or veterans without evidence beyond policy outcomes. Host questions are rhetorical and steer toward ridicule or condemnation rather than objective inquiry. Intentional dishonesty. No direct falsehoods, but several misrepresentations by omission. The military's rationale for the policy, medical standards, readiness, unit cohesion, is never directly quoted or rebutted in full. Statistics on Viagra spending are given without noting total medical budget or context. Selectively includes trans service member interviews without presenting any military perspective in support of the ban. Rhetorical integrity uses sarcasm, exaggeration, and ridicule rather than engaging with the opposing viewpoint seriously. Entertaining but lacks fair rhetorical balance. Opponents are mocked, not debated. Invokes comparisons, for example, we need a labia, designed to humiliate rather than critique. Source transparency. No sources are cited for key figures, for example, 8 times more on Viagra, $960 million in recruiting costs, 6,000 veterans fired. Statistics may be accurate, but lack verification in show, relying on the viewer to accept them at face value. Use of evidence. Testimonies from transgender troops offer powerful qualitative evidence, but this is anecdotal, not comprehensive. Cites military cutbacks and veteran job losses, but gives no breakdown of total government budget changes or full impact across agencies. No counterbalance. No inclusion of expert military testimony defending the original policy. Straw man risk. It oversimplifies the Trump administration's policy by reducing it to hating trans people or firing veterans. It frames opposition to trans service as rooted in bigotry rather than logistical or medical concerns. It ridicules opponents' motives without exploring them honestly or presenting strongest counter arguments. This is worded weird. Terminology exaggeration. Describes the Trump policy as making transgender people enemies within, likely paraphrasing, not a direct quote. Claims America refuses to acknowledge they even exist, which is an emotional overstatement. Policy restriction is not equal to erasure. Suck it up and $90 million parade on his birthday are used to imply hypocrisy, but are framed without confirmed budget timelines or intent. For integrity ratings, the host was given a 3.5 out of 10, biased, emotionally charged, mocking tone throughout, fair points hidden beneath derision. The transgender veterans were given an 8.5 out of 10. Personal testimony is sincere, consistent, and grounded in lived experience. Policy analysis segment with Jon Stewart was given a 4 out of 10. Some valid critiques of cuts, but exaggerated and emotional without balanced context. And the overall argument honesty average was a 5.3 out of 10. If you have any questions about this video, please let me know in the comments section below. If you have anything to add, anything that you would like to see in future videos, I would love to know. Have a good day.